a lot. I talk a lot, don't I? Anyway, so tonight I'm going to be talking about how to heal your deep emotional wounds. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, please put a 1 in the chat room. Put a 1 in the chat room if this is something that you are interested in. Just 1? No one else listening? There we go. All right, so I started last week with something. I want to continue with it, and I would like Sunshine to come on up. And I'm not putting pressure on you guys to believe or not believe. I need this for me. So, Sunshine, are you ready to say the prayer tonight? Get us starting off on the right step and stuff. I would appreciate that.
Some people bow their heads, some people put their hands out. Whatever you do, prayer can also be a physical thing, not just a verbal thing. So I offer people to do that as well. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight to help us to listen to you through Llewellyn and her teachings, to help us to know that we're not alone, that we're loved, and most of all, loved by you, and that you can heal any wound that is possible. Lord, there are so many people out there suffering with mental illness, and for some reason you allow mental illness on this earth, and we'll never know the reason why, but we know that with you we can all get through these battles. So in your name I ask for all the healing of anybody here tonight, and that we stay strong in our fight. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Yes, exactly. It's for anyone who wants it. All right. So before we get started, I want to tell you that I am not a professional. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose, nor can I prescribe any medication. I am not perfect. I am a child of God, and I believe in the power of prayer, and I want to thank you very much for that, Sunshine. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is how to express your emotions. I'm not even that nice. Yes, you are. So there are some healthy ways to express your emotions. And I would like to ask how you guys do it before I tell you my list that I have created. So give me one thing that you do that expresses or process, or how you process your emotions. What are healthy ways to do that? What do you guys do? Yes, in a healthy way. Okay, color. Hit balls or 18 holes. Sometimes you try laugh. Okay, all right. You clean. Ooh, you want to come clean my house? All right. So the 7 things that I've come up with, I should say research. I didn't come up with them. Baking or cooking. Ooh, baking. I don't know if I can trust your baking. I'm just teasing. You know, there might be the special brownies or something. Just teasing. All right. So one thing, again, this is just the research that I've done, is one way is drawing, like art therapy. Has anyone tried art therapy? Put a 2 in the chat room if you've done art therapy. Okay. Art is your calming. Good, good. No medical covers in my cooking. So when you do your art, okay, someone said it was calming for them. What else does it do? How else does it make you feel? So for those that do art therapy, what are your feelings? Are you feeling calm, like what she said? Do you feel like the world's gone away and you're just focused on the drawing? Turns my focus onto something else. Okay. Release my feelings in what I draw. Okay. That's awesome. Lets you breathe. Yes. That's the whole point of doing the art therapy. Gets you out of your head. Yes. Very good. Very good. Now, the second thing that, again, research, not me, research, is make a gratitude list. Has anyone made a gratitude list? Put a 3 in the chat if you made a gratitude list. Releasing my emotions and the colors I use. That's good, Joe. So a gratitude list are things that you are grateful for. It's almost like having a what's the word I'm looking for? Blessing list. What are the blessings in your life? What are the gratitudes in your life? What kind of a list? Yes, things that you could be grateful for, thankful for. Yes. Gratitude, grateful, thankful. Has anyone made any kind of a list like that? If you have, put a 3. If not, say no. No. You have. Okay. See, I used to, and I've stopped doing it. And I don't know why I've stopped doing it. I need to remember that I'm grateful just to be alive. Not outside of Thanksgiving. Hello there. Welcome in. No, I get that. How about number 4? If anyone's done it, punch a pillow. I have. Has anyone punched a pillow to express your emotions? Yeah. When I was growing up, I had one of those. I can't think of the name of it right now. More than a pillow. Oh, heavens. I can't think of it right now, but it reminded me of a clown. I punch it to come back up, Does a barn count? Oh, my stars. Pillows are softer. You don't actually get marks on your fingers, hon. Kind of like a balloon. I wouldn't punch a pillow myself as much as I would scream into it because I didn't want to, at the time when I lived in town, I couldn't have people hearing me. So boxing exercise routine. That's awesome. Okay. And of course, now I get into number 5, which is scream. Does anyone scream? Has anyone ever screamed out the emotions? Have you ever screamed it? Yeah. Some say yes, some say no. Yeah. Okay, here's a big one. I was just going to go with that, V. Cry. Cry is the next on the list. Do you just let your emotions out because they just filled up so much? It's like a dam just coming out. That's a water dam, by the way, not a cuss word. Yeah. Crying's your biggest. Not if I can help it. You'll cry with your kids, yeah. Yours are four-legged kind, I get it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever destroyed anything, like a box or ripped up paper? Have you done that kind of destruction where you just took, and I'm not actually going to do it, I'm going to show you one of my books, just took and just ripped it into tiny, tiny shreds and just threw it. Okay, because that's also on here. This right here is ways that you can express your emotions. A whole apartment? Oh, heavens, I hope not. Okay. And how about this last one that I found? I don't do this as much, and I really should. The last one is validating your feelings because they are real. Do you validate your own feelings? Yeah, I don't want you to punch walls or anything. That could hurt. I am guilty of not doing that one because I was always raised that my feelings were not important. And so I need to work on that myself. Validate your feelings. So if you're angry, say, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be happy. It's okay, whatever your feelings are, to validate your feelings at that moment. I'm not saying it's okay to be angry and go hurt someone and say, well, I validated my feelings, so it's okay to do that. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I had always had my feelings too. Yeah. Depends what my actions are, I guess. So do you tell yourself that your actions are justified? So that was expressing your feelings. Any questions on that one before I go to the second one? Okay. Do you think it's important to express your emotions? Hopefully in a healthy, non-violent way. Good. So tonight, as we talk about how to heal our deep emotional wounds, these are the steps that I've researched, and I'm like, oh my stars, I really need to say this to people. It is important. It is, and it is a challenge. You're right. And that's why I'm here tonight, to help each and every single one of us to do this. So the second one that I've looked up is called practicing self-compassion. So you treat yourself with kindness, understanding, patience. Are you patient with yourself? Do you sometimes having a good cry does get all the ugly out of your body? Not always, but sometimes it does. Sometimes taking a nap also does too, because sometimes you wake up with a fresh perspective on things. So yeah, I get it. So practicing self-compassion. One of the things that I've learned, and it's one of the research that I found, and I do it, is comfort your body. You hug yourself. Some eat healthy. I don't eat healthy. I don't like vegetables. Just saying. Oh, hi, Rob. Thank you so much for coming in. But does anyone do the comfort of your body, whether it's hugging yourself, eating healthy, exercising, any of those? You exercise? Okay. That's good. You eat healthy? Good. You golf, though. That could be considered exercise. That's good. And you say no. Sometimes physical limitations kind of hurt. Music, singing, dancing. Ooh, I love that. Love that one. Exercise and eat healthy. I can't eat healthy. I don't like vegetables, guys. I don't like vegetables. I don't know if it's just the way that they're cooked or what. I just, you try to, but yes, limited. I get it. Boxing. Very good. All right. So I've never done this next one. I know, I'm with you the same way. Yeah, vegetables. The second one is writing a love letter to yourself. So think of all the times that you've been filled with pain. Have you ever written a love letter to yourself? I haven't. I think it'd be something that I would be interested in doing. So who here, say yes in the chat room, if you would write a love letter to yourself? And I'm going to say yes on that one, because I think we need it. I think we need to have that love letter. Now I'm talking romantic love letter. I'm talking the love letter that we need to hear ourselves, speak to ourselves, and give ourselves the love that we need. And it doesn't have to be the romantic love. Just things like, I've written books about my situation, but not to myself. See, I've written books too. And my first one is called Abuse It Is What It Is. And all five books are on Amazon. And that's one thing I haven't done, is written a love letter to myself. I used to write letters to myself and then I'd burn them out. See, and that's also good too. Thank you, Ellie, for bringing that up. Hi, Kelly. Is that burning it actually kind of releases the emotions and the tensions that you've had built up inside of you. You're not ready to be that nice to yourself? Oh, boy. Well, I think you're amazing, and I think you're awesome. Maybe I'll write you a love letter. Maybe your wife should write you a love letter, too. Maybe we should do that for each other. That would be interesting. And then do videos. Ooh, I have ideas now. All right. So the next one is encourage yourself. Does anyone encourage themselves or do you discourage? Yes, it is a nice release. Yes. Do you guys encourage yourselves? You encourage? You wouldn't know what to write? Oh, hon, you're amazing. The care that you give to those around you, depending on what it is, you have to. But married 23 years, I have to. Both. I'm guilty of both encourage and discourage myself. I mean, when I started writing my books, you guys, I'm like, who's going to read my books? Who is going to read these books? Because not only do I have my right step, not only do I have my self-care, now my brand new one out is Not Alone, Not Forgotten. And I'm like, who's going to read these? Right? So I discouraged myself a lot. And if it hadn't been for the people online, I probably wouldn't have finished it because they kind of helped encourage me. I'm glad to hear that your wife is amazing. That is awesome to hear. You're right, Turhub. So next one is mindfulness. Do you ever just stop and think about what you've done? Have you stopped to think, these are the things I need to say, these are the things I need to do? Mindfulness of your actions and your words and your feelings. Good, good. Very good to hear. Very good. All right. Now, this is the one that I have said from day one, starting this, right? Journal. Who journals? I find it so weird because I am so out of touch with writing. I used to get young authors rewards in elementary. Journaling is very important. It helps you heal the deep emotional wounds. It helps you express your emotions. And it also helps you practice your self-compassion for yourself. I know you do, Tank. That's awesome. Hi, Randall. Welcome in. You have a dream journal? Oh, I'd like to talk to you more about that dream journal. I bet that's amazing. You don't need to share it here. So you do know that you can journal on your phone. You can do video journals. You can do voice recording journals. It doesn't have to be in writing anymore. And you can lock your phone. Just saying, because I saw that they used it against you. And mine did the same. And it took me a while to get back into doing it again because thank you. Is it Zaki? Thank you. And that's one thing we have to do is we have to work on those bad memories and get the, as I call them, ants out of our head. Now, folks, who knows what ants is? Put it in the chat room. What does ants stand for? Yeah, she moved forward. Exactly. You can use an app store to protect your apps. What are ants stand for, guys? Because I mentioned it here. I write poems. Lots of poems. I do it for others, and I've done it for myself. Mainly for myself to help get rid of some of the crap in my head. No one knows what ants mean? Come on now. Thank you. Automatic negative thought syndrome. Let's kill those ants, folks. Let's do what we need to do to work together, work on ourselves, and know that ants is the automatic negative thought syndrome. All right. So last one under practicing self-compassion. Ants are bad, yes. Do you talk to yourself like you would a friend? Do you talk to yourself like you would a friend? Do you tell yourself really positive things? Or are you negative to yourself? Always positive. Okay. Need to do that. It's important to do that. Both. Don't do both. You need to talk to yourself like you would a friend because you are a friend to someone. You're my friend. And as my friend, I wouldn't let anyone talk smack about my friend, and that includes yourself. Okay, so you have conversations with your animals daily. Okay. Hopefully that includes talking positive self. Yeah, no, I get that. I do. I get that. Oh, yes. I know. It's like, God, can you give me a help here? Tell me what to expect next, right? Doesn't do that. Okay, so any questions on practicing self-compassion before I go to the next one? Any questions regarding self-compassion? Please forgive me, guys. I'm not feeling well today. I got a stuffy nose, and that's right. Don't be so hard on yourself. All right, so the next one, and yes, I took notes, folks. It's all right. I took a nap before I did this tonight, guys. I had to. I told my husband to wake me up if I don't wake up. So the next one is engage in self-care activities. Do you guys have any specific self-care activities that you do for yourself? I don't have allergies. My 8-year-old granddaughter gave this to me. Does anyone engage in self-care activities? If you do, what are some of the things that you do that are self-care activities? You go offline and enjoy a hobby. Nice. Late night long baths or showers. Ooh, I like those. I love taking baths and doing facials. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Listen to music. Read. Tattoo therapy when I can afford it. Oh my stars. I hate needles. Music or podcast. Ooh, I would love to do a podcast one day. I have to get to the woods and be out with nature, fresh air. Oh my stars. Yes, I get that. I love that one. Yes. So these are some of the things that you guys have mentioned, right? So connect with your higher power, whether God, nature, things like that. I don't care about, sorry, I can't do tattoos. I just, So connecting with your higher power, that was one. So I thank you for that. The next one was connect with nature. So that was the second one, right? No, I know it's been pouring here too. No one mentioned eating healthy. This is self-care, right? That it all goes together, folks. So eating healthy, exercising, we said that. Meditation. Does anyone do meditation in here? Say yes if you do meditation, no if you don't. I don't know what a salt room is. So you're going to have to probably clarify that. Sometimes yes, no, no, no. So meditation is a great thing to engage in for self-care. Yes and no. Okay. Meditation, journaling. Again, you're going to see journaling come up a lot, guys. I hate to tell you this. It's going to come up a lot. Breathing exercises. No one's mentioned breathing exercise. Do you just sit and focus on your breathing? Remember, we had that conversation about centering yourself. Does anyone just breathe? Put water sounds on and just relax. Ooh, I love that. And breathing in and out. Good. Yes, I do. It helps. Good. Breathing exercise really does help, folks. Believe it or not, it does. You try. Okay. Sitting and watching a river or lake helps. Oh, yes, it does. It's just the sound of nature itself just is wonderful. And of course, the last two was, or watching a flame. I do that with my wood stove. I can just sit there and be mesmerized by the fire. I get that. So the last two are read a book and go for a walk, which is what you guys have mentioned here, which is amazing on that. So that is awesome on that. I have to turn the page now. Go to the river. Just sit there. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. It is just really relaxing. I miss going camping and just having that fun. Oh, thank you, Zaki. You're so sweet. Those the songs I relate to. It's very personal. Yes, exactly. But I miss camping, you guys. I sold our fifth wheel because we need the money. And I miss camping. I miss having that open fire and hearing the crackling. I loved it. I'd go for a walk, but right now I would need skates. Oh, must be really snowy there then, huh? All right. So, any questions on self-compassion? I think it was self-compassion, wasn't it? Oh, self-care activities. Any question on self-care activities so far? If not, we're going to move along. Yeah, you can keep the ice. I don't want it. Llewellyn does not like snow or ice. We don't talk about that. Shh, it's taboo. All right, so the next one is setting boundaries. I know we've talked about this before, but we're going to go over it again because I think it's part of how we heal. Yes, ice skating would be another self-care activity. I'd fall my butt too many times and it'd probably be more of a bruised area and I have to go to the hospital. But anyways. So setting boundaries is about keeping the focus on your feelings and what your needs are. If you agree with that, put a 5. I think I'm up to 5. I think I lost track of that. If you agree with keeping the focus on your feelings and your needs for boundaries, put a 5 in. It would be worth it. I don't know about that. I'd fall way too many times. Just my luck, I'd fall on the ice and go through the ice. Good. So setting boundaries is also important in healing your emotional wounds. So the next one is to communicate what you need and what you expect. How do you do that? How do you communicate your need and what you expect to set your boundaries? How do we do that? What are some ways that you can communicate what your needs are and what your expectations are of setting those boundaries, saying this is that line, you can't cross that line? I have that Jeopardy tune in my head. Do, 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 do. Verbalize it. Conversate with a loved one. Yeah. Tell someone I feel that you disrespected it to me and say it. Yeah. Treat a person the way you would want to be treated. Very good. Exactly. But there's one thing that you guys are missing. I say if it's going to hurt you, then it's not good for you. Okay. Guys are missing one very important step here. When you communicate what you need and what you expect, how do you do that? You do it by treating yourself the way you want others to treat you. Being honest and blunt's good. Just be careful with that because we don't want to hurt other people. We just want them to say, hey, this is my boundary. We're done. And you have to treat yourself the way you want others to treat you. And you have to set the expectations of it. Go with my gut. Doesn't feel right. My body knows something. My mind doesn't. Right? Right. All right. So you've already talked about being direct. So that's good. I'm going to skip that. Being specific. That's the next one. Have them acknowledge you. Yes. Honest and blunt upsets others often. It does. I get that. But you also have to treat yourself the way you want them to treat you. I never tell people what they want to hear, but what they may need to hear. Exactly. You don't want to sugarcoat things. But we're talking about you and how you have to set these boundaries. Okay, here's that line that's drawn. You cross it. You know, this is what you can expect to happen, right? And I expect that in return, right? So being direct, being specific. Oh, honey, no one's perfect at setting boundaries, and that's why we need to work on this. Yep, say what you mean and mean what you say. I know, you're too kind-hearted. But you can't do that. You can't let people just walk all over you either. You have zero filter. You have to stick to your guns, yeah. Very transparent, which I like about you. All right, so how about using a neutral tone of voice? When you're setting those boundaries and you're talking to someone, do you use a neutral tone of voice? Welcome in. You're fine. Having that neutral tone of voice when you're talking to someone about setting your boundaries, I think is important too. Because it shows that you're serious. You're not screaming at them, you're not crying, you have that neutral tone. Yeah, depending on the subject, right? But we're talking boundaries right now. So having that neutral tone while you're setting those boundaries, it's important to have that. Your normal tone, yes. Some people like him just automatically have that neutral tone, which is amazing. I don't. I'm either high or I'm low. I have to get in that medium neutral tone. I just talk serious and normal. If you know me, you can tell when I'm serious. But some people that can't, they need to know those boundaries though too. Excuse me. Okay, so someone also mentioned choosing the right time. So setting the boundaries, that's correct. You need to choose the right time. I love that he has that calmness too. Yes. Hello, Florines. Hello. So when you choose the right time, this answer will hurt people's feelings. You know, it is what it is. As long as you do it at the right time. Has anyone in here ever tried to set boundaries and it was not the right time to do so? Yeah. Yep. I'm guilty of it too. Here's a good one. Learn to say no. When you're setting those boundaries, you need to learn to say no because you don't need it to come back on you and hurt you even more than what you already hurt, right? If I think you're weak, I get it, but you'll never overstep or discount your feelings. Yeah. Your feelings are valid. You can say no even to yourself. Amazing. Yeah, it does hurt to say no. All right. The last one on setting boundaries is basically back to the first or the one before this is practicing self care, right? So, how you treat yourself is how you're allowing others to treat you. Learn that the hard way. I get it. I do. So, any questions on setting boundaries before I go to number 5? Any questions on setting boundaries? Okay. So here's one that I really have had a hard time with, and I've learned over the years to do it. Boundaries is neither a skill or an excuse. Boundaries is a necessity. You have to set the tone for boundaries with people around you so that way they know that they can't treat you horribly. This is for you. This is for your protection, for their protection, because you don't need to have, in my case, I was abused. When I was abused, right, I didn't know I had boundaries. I didn't know I could set boundaries. And I allowed people to make me crappy, even as an adult. So as a child, I really had no choice. I didn't know as a child that I could set boundaries. And most children can't set boundaries, right? And then as I got older, I married my first husband. I didn't know that I could set boundaries within my marriage. I didn't know that that was even an option. Didn't know it existed. It's not a skill. It's not an excuse. It's just something that needs to be done so that way they don't cross that line and you feel you're hurt again or something bad happens or whatever the case is. This is for you as well as for them to know where everything lines up. If either of my mods in here want to expand on that, you're more than welcome to. Right, which is why I'm doing all this. Some might not know how. And that's why I'm setting, the tone here. I'm talking about it. I've written about it. in my books. We've discussed it on here. I will always keep discussing it on here because boundaries is important, because you have to know your boundaries within yourself in order to teach it to others of how you want to be treated. So treat yourself the way you want others to treat you, and treat others the way you want to be treated as well. It's very important. Exactly. Boundaries are not easy, but they are necessary. Very good. All right. Any questions on setting boundaries before I go to number 5? Oops. Didn't mean to move that. All right. So the next one is something that it took me a while to do. It's called practicing forgiveness. Who here has practiced forgiveness, either on yourself or on others? All I need is a yes or a no. If you've practiced forgiveness either on yourself or on others. Yeah. No. Lori, we need to talk, girl. Okay, so. All right, so Matthew just gave me the in that I needed. I have trouble with that one, but I will try. And here's the thing. What do you think I'm going to tell you on that? Journal. Journal is the best way to start you off for forgiveness of yourself as well as others. Now, forgiveness isn't about what's we're looking for. Forgiveness of yourself or others is not because they deserve it. It's because you deserve it. You don't need to keep having the hurt feelings, the anger feelings of not forgiving someone. Because you know what? 9 times out of 10, the other person does not care. They don't care if you forgive them. They don't care about any of that stuff. So when you forgive someone, it's not because you're accepting their actions. It's not because you believe that what they did is a forgivable act or whatever. It's because you need it here, right here in the heart. Forgiveness, you can work on practicing forgiveness by journaling. That's one big way of doing that. Journal out everything that you need to forgive either yourself or the other person for. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. And I'm going to say something that is going to shock the holy heck out of everyone in here. If you believe that forgiveness of yourself and others is a necessity, put a hell yeah in the comments. If you believe that forgiveness is something that you need, I'm sorry, being kind like that is not in my makeup. Put in a hell yeah if you believe that forgiveness. The only thing that you're doing is, if you don't forgive others, is hurting yourself, because they don't care. They don't care. And I care about you, and I don't want you to keep hurting. So I'm not asking you to forgive them because they deserve it, because they don't. They don't. Okay. So the next one is grieving. Why do we grieve when we practice forgiveness? What is the significance of grieving? Emotional release helps you let go. To let go puts you in the actual moment. Yeah. We have to grieve the loss of whatever, right? Bringing peace. All right. So practicing forgiveness, acceptance of the situation. Yeah. So practicing forgiveness is a choice to let others hold you or hold, I can't even read my own writing. Hold on here. It's a choice to let others. Oh, that's it. I told you I wrote this. I was doing the research. Not perfect here. I told you that in the beginning, right? So practicing forgiveness, it's a choice to let others either hold power over you or you hold power over you. If you want to hold power over yourself, you need to practice forgiveness. If you want others to hold power over you, then you don't, I guess is the other word I want to say. So if you believe that to be true, put yes in the chat. If you believe that it's a choice to let others hold power over you or you hold power over you, put a yes in the chat. Yeah. Another thing of practicing forgiveness is to focus on other people. No, even don't say minus my mother. Even your mother needs forgiveness, honey. Even her. You can hold power over yourself and not let her do it. Focusing on other people or other things, practicing forgiveness, right, is focus on other people or things. How do you do that? How do you focus on other people when you're trying to forgive yourself and others? Self-care. Yeah. It's good. So focusing on other people could mean that maybe, Sunshine, I'm going to use you as an example. Maybe Sunshine came to me and said, hey, I'm having problems. And maybe you're having problems yourself. But if you're focusing on someone else's problems and helping them through it, sometimes it kind of connects and you're like, oh yeah. So I'm telling her what to do, right? And now I need to do the same thing because maybe that touched home at me or something like that. Your biggest haters and non-supporters will oust themselves every time. Yeah. All right. Moving along. So practicing forgiveness for me also means studying the Bible. I study the Bible almost daily. That's for me. You also want to refer back to your boundaries and also refer back to what Kelly said here is self-care. So that's practicing forgiveness. Those are just examples. It's not like the thing. It's just examples that I have found. So any questions on that before I move along? Because I see I'm running out of time here, folks, and I still got 3 more to go. If you have questions, I have no problem answering them. I just want to make sure that you're getting this before we move on to the next one. So if you have no questions, put the no in the chat here so I can move on to the next one. If you have questions, put a question in and I can answer it. Hopefully I can answer it. No questions? Okay. All right. So the next one is self-support. Excuse me, seek support. How do you seek support? You're fine, sweetheart. Self-confidence does speak for itself in some issues, yeah. Just ask for help myself, right? So when you seek support, you go to someone that you can trust, right? And who are those that you can trust? Some of the things that I found is spiritual. In my case, is God, right? Sometimes it's professional, like a counselor or a therapist. Sometimes even a life coach if you don't have all that kind of money, right? Friends, families, support groups, which is what I'm trying to do here is like a support group, right? What about journaling? Guys, back to journaling again. When you seek that support, sometimes you don't have anyone that you can go to, so you need a journal. Does that make sense to everyone? Good. Nothing wrong with seeing a counselor. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I think it's awesome to see a counselor because sometimes they are non-biased. If you go to a friend or a family member, spouse, sometimes they'd be a little bit biased because like, well, I love you just the way you are. And you're like, but I need help. And so you need to have that non-biased person. And I get that. Maybe a spiritual leader for some to clarify emotional support. No, I get it. And sometimes it's what we need. Emotional support from those around you. Sometimes it's a big weight lifted off, just having that someone to listen to us, which is good. None of us are, I'm not professional. No. All right. So any questions on that one before I move along? I've got 2 more to do, guys. And I'm running out of time. So I am sorry, but I'm going to be rushing through the next 2 before we close. Oh, thanks for the likes. All right. So the next one is focusing on gratitude. What is gratitude? What does gratitude mean to you? What is gratitude? What is gratitude? Deal, thankfulness. What does gratitude mean for you? Deep thankfulness. Feeling important. It's all right. I hate autocorrect too. But what do you do to focus on that gratitude? Appreciation. Yes. How do you focus on gratitude? What are some things that you can do to focus on gratitude? And if someone doesn't say the one that I always been mentioning all along, I'm going to have to probably scream at you guys. I'm teasing. Journaling. Yes. That is one way to focus on gratitude. Very good. What are some other ways of focusing on gratitude? Affirmations are good. Yeah. I don't have that in my list, but yes. Music, nature. Very good. Yes. Healthy self-care. Yes. How about meditation? Meditation. Or how about, right, expressing by writing music? Okay, all right. But what about showing kindness or helping someone else? Prayer is a big one for me. Yes. Does anyone ever show kindness to someone, help someone out? Maybe someone drops something, you help pick it up. Love helping others. I love helping others. Yeah. And then don't expect anything in return. You just help them, whatever it may be. It might be, maybe they need to ride somewhere. That's right. You never know what someone else is going through. And a smile can go a long way. Very good. Yes. Have you ever thanked someone? Maybe they helped you. Have you thanked someone? Yeah, exactly. It brings you joy to help somebody and then keep it to yourself so you can go back and smile at it. That's called journaling, honey. Write it down in the journal. That's right. Thanking someone. Like, I want to thank you for being here. I thank you that you want to be here. I love helping others. Had to learn not to empty my glass, filling others. Exactly. I made a young kids day today. That's awesome. I love helping people, which is why I became a life coach. I love helping people. I love the fact that it could be just, no, thank you. It could be just a simple, opening a door for someone. Maybe they have a bunch of groceries and you take one of them out of their hands so that way they're not toppling over or whatever. Just simple things. Pay it forward. Yes. All right. Last one for tonight that we're going to talk about for the emotional healing, right? Healing wounds is engage in self-reflection. How do you engage in self-reflection? Man, there's two that I can think of right now. You guys better say them. What are two ways that you guys can think of that you engage in self-reflection? Yes, sunshine, meditation and journaling. Very good. Affirmations. Awesome. Don't dwell on things that are negative. Yes. Engage in self-reflection. You journal. Maybe you think, what do you want to know? And you ask yourself this, what is it that I need to know? What is it that I want to know, right? Meditating. How about setting goals? Does anyone set goals? That's a really good self-reflection. What kind of goals can you set? Set those goals. And I think someone said nature, and nature's another one as well. Yes, exactly. Those are awesome. Meditate, journal, setting goals. Setting goals is awesome. I finished one goal. I got to finish another one. I wrote my book, got that out, which was Not Alone, Not Forgotten. So that one's done. Now I'm working on a sci-fi one. I can need to get that one done. All right. So this has been awesome. Does anyone have anything that they want to contribute to this? Ask questions about everything, because I'm down to the last nitty-gritty of it now. I'm one test away from finishing. Yes, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. One of your goals. Very good. I'm so proud of you. And I hope you're proud of yourself. That's important. It's important to set goals. Yes. Very good. I'm glad to hear that you're proud of yourself. All right. So any questions? And let me go over these one last time. So we talked about expressing your emotions, practicing self-compassion, engaging in self-care activities, setting boundaries, practicing forgiveness, seeking support, focusing on gratitude, and engaging in self-reflections. Any questions or any comments about any of those before I close for the night? Not at the moment. Okay. All right. Tomorrow is a new day. And don't think of it as a failure. Just because you didn't succeed in everything doesn't mean that sometimes something throws a wrench in there and you got to work around that wrench, right? It's part of life. All right. So let's go ahead and let's close tonight off. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want you to know